What's up, Stu?
Hello, Jim.
How are you?
Excellent.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I am excellent as well. I have new headphones. My other headphones died. I am hard on some headphones, man. My office is where headphones go to really be abused and die because I can see
Yeah.
one, two, three, four different headsets
Yeah,
that I
I
have
have the same.
destroyed. Huh.
I think the combo of headsets, when it's the microphone and the earpiece, the speaker,
Hmm.
I think that they haven't quite figured out a durable tool to make those things last a little longer. But because this is probably my fourth set of headphones as well.
Mm. Mm, mm, mm.
But if you use them, you're gonna abuse them.
That's right. So, Stu, we have a little bit different background on us today. And you notice it doesn't say the copy and content.ai report. It says writeyourbook.ai. Are you curious as to why it says writeyourbook.ai?
Why, yes.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Stu, because writeyourbook.ai is going to be our Black Friday special. In
Oh,
fact, on this broadcast, we are going to, I guess, do the unofficial way pre-release, or at least let people know it's coming. Um, that writeyourbook.ai definitely is going to be available at a special price at some point. I'm looking at Susan to make sure I'm not saying something that I shouldn't be saying at this point because she will come through that camera like, I'll tell you when it's time. Um, so, so oh shit. I mean, I said,
not yet. Not yet.
not,
I
not,
mean, it's ready.
oh, okay.
Everything's in place except for a couple other back pieces, but the majority
Okay.
of it's ready to go.
Okay.
So
So,
if you want a link, just let me know.
okay. Well, let's see. I'll let the people decide.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna do the whole launch thing and all that good stuff and Black Friday, and it's kind of like Black Friday and a product launch had a dumpster baby together, and this is the conception. So you and I are conceiving this thing together, Stu. Did you ever think
Oh,
that was going to happen? Could in today's world. Now apparently it's possible. So let's just stop right there before Nancy loses it because she can just bleed in followers. So I'm kind of punchy, Stu. Kind of punchy.
that's
Been
all
getting
right.
stuff.
What
Been
what what
getting
do you
stuff
think
done.
got you punchy today? Was it the caffeine? Was it
No, just
just good mood?
just getting a lot of stuff done. Just
Yeah,
just
that is a
just
good feeling.
just busting it out. Just getting a lot of stuff done and a lot of caffeine. Got in a good workout this morning. Um, so there you go. So
I
so
think I think a lot of us are motivated by finishing product projects, right? And when you do that, that boosts you for the next project.
absolutely,
So I love it. I love my to-do
absolutely.
list. I get fired up as it ticks on down. You remember my to-do list, right?
Yes, I see that. I'm excited. I see that I've been bridging back over into the world of pen and paper
Oh,
myself. Um,
I can just
you
see
know,
it all.
and I like the violence of a Sharpie. It's like I don't want to read that little tiny stuff. I want to use. Yeah. I'm letting that paper know that I'm serious. All right. Speaking of getting serious, let's get serious. We got some things we got to cover on today's show, Stu.
And what is that? We're going to talk about AI and
We're going to talk about
helping it
AI and
write your book,
book writing.
obviously, with the title above us.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about AI and writing your book.
All
And I
right.
think one of the biggest things that people need to one of the biggest misconceptions just to kick this off, and I know we've got some questions, but I got a thought that I want to share with everybody. And I think one of the biggest things that people wonder about AI is, does AI actually help you create a good book? Is it going to sound generic? Is it going to sound like everybody else's? Is it just going to be super general? And is it just going to sound like somebody other than you? And if the whole purpose of writing a book is to share your thoughts, your soul with the world, how in the world is AI going to be able to do that? That's a great question. And the answer to that comes down to how you use the tool. Just like buying Word the word processor, doesn't guarantee you can write an article or write a book. You have the tool, but you got to learn how to use the tool right. And so that's really what WriteYourBook.ai is all about, is giving you tools so that your book is aimed at your target audience. It is creating content and offering content in the book that is extremely valuable, that it is tailored to your target audience, and it has a voice that sounds like you wrote it. So what WriteYourBook.ai enables you to do, unlike going to ChatGPT, is it enables you to create the content and take ownership of it. Also, what makes it different is that not only are you going to create the book, but you're going to create the marketing materials to be able to get it listed. And it's not just access to AI, it's also a system. It's a system of coaching, it's a system of steps, it's a system of walking you through each part of the process so that at the end, in a very short period of time, you start out at 0, and at the end of 2 weeks, your book's not just done, it's up, published, and available on Amazon. That's some of the key differences. Plus, we've got a great community. We have live coaches, live coaching, taking you through this entire process. So that's what makes WriteYourBook.ai different from anything else you could possibly do. And one other thing that makes it extremely good is our amazing success and completion rate. The very first time we did this, we had 250 people show up on a Monday. 2 Mondays later, 151 of them were published authors with their book available for sale on Amazon. And within another week, we had another 30, 181 out of 250. If you know anything about people doing stuff on the internet, taking classes, doing coaching programs, that kind of completion rate is unheard of. And it's because we have AI doing all the heavy lifting for you. So if you want to write a book, if you want to create an amazing tool that you can use to build your business, WriteYourBook.ai is exactly what you want to do, especially now. Especially at this time of year, we can use a book to make next year literally your best year ever in business. Come on in and join us at WriteYourBook.ai. Now, I'm just going to be really transparent with everybody. Stu asked me if we were going to tell everybody at the end what we were doing, and I'm not going to tell everybody at the end. I'm going to tell everybody at the beginning. We are constructing on this podcast actual videos that we're going to use as part of the launch of our Dumpster Baby Black Friday product launch, okay? So that's one of the videos that we're going to use. That's going to be either at the beginning or the end or somewhere in there. So there you go. So Stu,
Well,
let's
Yeah,
oh.
yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, because I got something I want to show, but
Yeah, this is kind of like what the Jim and Stu show has always been about, like showing you a little bit of the ideas and the creation and just some of the systems that we use to get things done, kind of the back end side of it.
absolutely.
So, yeah.
So I'm going to share a video with you real quick. Fun little video I literally just got from my boy. All right, you ready? Important to keep in mind is that you got to have a book. If you don't have a book, you ain't got you're not an authority, you're not an expert, you don't have anything that separates you from everybody else. Everybody's got to have at least one book. That's just key. Now, there's a problem though for some people. What would I write a book about? That's a problem until you realize there's a genie for that. Non-fiction book idea genie. You fill in information about you, about your credentials, about your bio, and then fill in the information about your target audience. Once you've done that, whack the button, then some ideas based on the target audience and what they want to do, and then combinations of all of them. There's a genie for that. There's a genie for that.
Nobody got time.
So that's fun. There's a fun
I
little
love
video.
those things, man. Really good.
All right, well, let's dive in, Stu. That we've done enough warm up.
Yeah.
Let's do the divage.
All right. So you mentioned about AI doing the heavy lifting for a book. What does that actually mean?
Okay. So, and here we go. So when we talk about AI doing the heavy lifting for your book, what exactly do we mean? And when it comes down to doing anything, okay, when somebody's doing something new, there's really 4 areas that they worry about. Okay. Do I know how to do something? Am I going to have support? Do I have the resources, and do I have the skill? So let's apply that to actually writing a book. So the first thing people worry about is, okay, what would I even write about? Where can I have some ideas? And then the second thing is research, like coming up with the material, and what would I actually talk about for my audience. Third thing is that the creation of the actual content itself. And then finally, the promotion. And promotion is a whole bunch of stuff. Promotion is your listing on Amazon. It's your sales letter on your website. It's social media posts. It's all the different things that you have to do. And when people look at that big collection of things, what would I even write about? How do I figure out what I'm going to actually cover? How do I actually create the stuff I'm going to put in the book? And then how would I actually promote it and sell it? As soon as they look at that, they freak. They have no idea what they should do, what they should talk about, what they should write about. And so they just give up. So the great thing about AI is that AI can do all of those things in concert with you. You don't want to have it do it all for you, but it can help you get the first draft. It can come up with amazing ideas for a book. It can help you do the research, it can actually create the first draft of all your chapters, and then can even write the sales copy that goes up on Amazon and the other stuff that you need. So when we talk about AI doing the heavy lifting for your book and your book project, it really does. My last book that we created, this book would have taken me a long time to write. And we got this thing done in about 5 days. From start to finish, got it done in about 5 days. So that's pretty dang cool. And that's when I talk about AI doing the heavy lifting, that's AI doing the heavy lifting.
Nice.
So, there you go. And that's the answer to that. Those are the main areas when we do the heavy lifting. That's where it can help you out.
So one of the great things about this show, Jim, is there's a genie for that, as you know. And why don't you show us?
Okay.
Give us a demo of AI actually doing the heavy lifting.
So when we talk about AI doing the heavy lifting for writing a book, what would be what in your mind would be the heaviest part, the hardest part of actually writing a book? Now, let's say you wanted to write a 10-chapter book. What's the hardest part of that whole thing when you cut right down to it?
Getting started and coming up with a table of contents and what I'm going to write about.
Okay. Once you got that, the AI can solve that for you in about 20 minutes.
That's
okay.
Pretty amazing.
What's the hardest part of writing a book?
Finishing the book.
Writing the book.
Yeah.
It's not even about finishing the book. It's writing the book. It's writing the freaking chapters. So what if there was a genie to write the chapters for your book? To write a chapter for your book is going to take you a couple, 3 hours if you were going to do it manually. Okay.
Sure.
Sit down, type up 10 pages. Most people, to type up a 10-page chapter, it's going to take them at least an hour or two. I mean, back to college and high school, 10 pages take you all semester. So what if we could create a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-page chapter in about a minute and a half? That first draft.
That'd be very helpful.
So for some people, the first draft's the best draft. So let's come over here, and I'm going to show you one of the genies that we have for writing a book. This is when this is the FAQ book chapter writing genie. So we have the mistakes book chapter writing genie, the FAQ book chapter writing genie. We're going to have additional chapter writing genies with the next iteration of write your book that we're doing. So, but this is one for writing a chapter based on a question. So I'm going to actually just load one, and this is all based around the avatar. So you can load your avatar. Software will help you come up with the stuff to ask. But basically, we're going to write a chapter for a book targeting entrepreneurial professionals, decoding DISC, understanding the 4 communication styles that drive success. What's the actual question we're answering in this? What's their main focus in this chapter? Next question in the next chapter, we're going to choose our writing variables: authoritative, concise, Entrepreneur Magazine, and DISC style DC. So now we click build, and we're going to first write the main chapter content. So what this is doing is literally writing the chapter content based on my avatar, based on my questions. And so now it's written about 336 words. If we're cool with that, now we're going to write the rest of the stuff to go in the chapter. So we're going to write a transition from the main body to a checklist. Then we're going to have it write bullets, end of chapter summary bullets. We're going to have it create a checklist. So we'll do, we'll just do a how-to checklist. And then literally, we're going to write all the parts of this chapter. And it takes longer for me to talk about it than it does to actually do it. So we're going to have it create a hypothetical case study. You don't have to use all these things, but we're going to have it talk about mistakes to avoid, number 1 piece of advice, and we'll have it create a quote for the beginning of the chapter, and we can even do a quiz based on the chapter. So now, and then we'll do a transition to the next chapter. So what is this doing? What are we doing here? Well, we're creating a chapter based on the building blocks that go into a chapter that's in an FAQ book. So now I can download all of these parts assembled into a chapter. And you can see down here, I've written a 9-page chapter. This is page 1 of 9. Trying to get my stuff in there. So here we go. So it found some quotes for me. It did bullets to summarize the beginning. I've got the main body of the chapter. I've got a checklist. I've got some examples. I've got a case study. I've got typical mistakes and how to avoid them, number 1 piece of advice, summary of the thing, and a quiz on what we taught in the chapter. So now, instead of having to spend hours creating that first draft, I can spend about 30 to 45 minutes editing this thing to make it amazing and put my soul into it. And when we talk about putting your soul into it, this is where you take ownership. And so when I talk about putting your soul into something, this is where you're going to add your stories. You're going to add your opinions. You're going to add your unique perspective. And pretty much you're just going to breathe life into it from your experience. So that's how you can use these genies to just help you crush it when it comes to writing your book. And that's just one of a whole suite of genies that we have to help people to write real books. Now, the cool thing is that you might say, oh, I probably wouldn't want a checklist in my, in my chapter. Maybe I don't want a quiz at the end. Fine. It's your book. You can put in whatever you want. You can put in as much or as little as you want. It's that's the beauty of this process is we give you the tools, we teach you how to write the tools. I mean, how to use the tools. We walk you through the process, but it's your book. It's your world. You get to do and create whatever you want in it. And that's the beauty of writeyourbook.ai. And so this is just another reason why you need to join us inside of writeyourbook.ai. We've got special pricing going on right now. Absolutely best time to join, best time to get involved, best time to get started, because this next live training is going to be the best one yet. So if you're not in writeyourbook.ai yet, there's a link around here somewhere. You definitely need to be a part of what we got going on. All right, that's a nice little video. I thought you guys can tell me in the comments, but that we're just getting warmed up.
You know what I did, Jim? Not only did I add soul to that one book that I did the Write Your Book AI challenge with you, the one that you bullied me into doing.
That's right. Jim Edwards bullied a Navy SEAL.
Yeah. I mean, I literally just there's no way I'm going to write a book. I really was just burned out. I'd written 4 that year. Just it's the end of the year. I was like, I got nothing in me, Jim. I really don't. And then sure enough, boom, I got it. And one thing I did at the very beginning of every chapter to kind of remind me to add more soul to it was I put in one of my quotes that I used to answer that chapter. So everything leads off with a quote from me, right? It's just the standard quote.
That's cool. So
yeah, and it really kind of set the tone for the whole chapter.
Okay, tell me real quick, and that's cool because I think people would be, oh, that's kind of really egocentric to quote yourself in your own book, but hey, it's your book, your world. You do whatever you want.
It's more of a coaching technique. Like I say this, boom, right? And it was about the topic that was brought up, a common mistake. Here's the number one way to, alleviate that common mistake. Use this as like the guideline, and then here's how you do it.
Right. Absolutely. So tell me how, you've written a bunch of books. You went through a program with me that became your first bestseller, though. That was I will claim that.
Yes.
How have you used the book that I bullied you into writing, that you had no time to write, that you had already written books the normal way, 4 other books, created them, and you've dozens and dozens of books. How have you used that book that you created using the AI? How have you used that to build your business this year?
Well, one, it's on Amazon and it is selling on Amazon. It's also selling on my own site as well. So that's one. The other one was I've been using it as a giveaway to someone who buys anything Spec Ops related. And, with a special code, you can get the price of that ebook taken off of the total. And, that has been kind of like a buy 2, get 1 free type of deal for programming. And really what that book did for me was it took all of the common mistakes that people make and allowed me to pull from here and pull from there and all these different areas that I was sending people to individually to just one big answer for all of those common mistakes. And it cleared my thinking up for it. I'm able to just send this out to people like, hey, just read this. I'm telling you, it'll set you back on track. And so, yeah, it has done a lot for me and kind of streamlined some of my customer service dealings as well.
So let me ask you this question. You've written real books, you've written ebooks, you've written stuff. is this book as good as the other ones you've written, or just because AI did it, it means it's a piece of crap?
No, I don't consider it like that at all. It is just as good as any other program I've written before. The only difference is this one, the one that I wrote recently, is not a workout book, so it's a little bit different in the way I, usually everything I write is a workout, right? It's
Right.
something. There's going to be a workout program in it. This is really purely a mistakes book, but it just organizes everything into one shot. So if you have a business that, goes in multiple directions, you got a specialty, but it's still broad enough, you might be able to find something in that common mistakes of all the things that go on, create a nice little organizational tool for you, and give it as a gift or even sell it.
Absolutely. So it's a real book. Bottom line, it's a real book.
Yes. I still feel like an author because I did it.
Okay. Awesome. So that's the story of how Jim Edwards bullied a Navy SEAL.
Yes.
So if you're not a member, if you haven't signed up for WriteYourBook.ai yet, you should, because if it'll work for Stu, it'll work for you. And that rhymes. Okay. All right, cool.
All right, so Jim, let's go on to another question, because I love it when you answer this one.
Mm-hmm.
And what are the benefits of becoming an author?
So, there are a whole bunch of benefits of becoming an author. They are, as they say down at the Language Academy, they are multitudinous. And what I would tell you is that the number one benefit of being an author is simply the authority that it gives you. It is literally, you can't have the word authority without author in it. Authority starts with author. And we have been trained since a young age, since we were little kids, that authors are special, that people who write books are special. People who are in print are really smart, and we should pay attention to them. Why else would we be reading books and learning from books and using books as textbooks, or reading books and having to learn from them and write papers about them and give talks about them and listen to lectures about them? Books are at the core of everything that we do around learning and credibility and expertise. So the person that writes the book, the person with their name on the book, is the expert, is the authority, is the person that everybody should pay attention to. This has been baked into us since we were little tiny kids. In fact, one of the first books you probably ever read was written by a doctor, albeit Dr. Seuss. But the first book you learned to read, One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish, see, I even remember, I learned, was written by a doctor, Dr. Seuss. And all through the rest of our lives, authors are authorities. Now, there's a whole bunch of other reasons why you should want to be an author. Now, one of those reasons is to be able to build a personal brand, because I can tell you from personal experience, I have built a big time personal brand off of this book, and also one of my other books, 7-Day ebook. Okay. It expands your reach and influence. The fact that you have this book and you're able to have people that you don't know buy your book, whether it's on Amazon or from your website, or someone gives it to them as a gift, and they're able to spend time with you. How do we influence people? Ultimately is by spending time with them. Well, by reading your book, they're spending time with you. They're getting to know you. They're understanding your frameworks. They're understanding your beliefs. They're understanding your philosophy, all that good stuff. And so this is like a remote control salesperson for you. The other cool thing is that it can help you generate passive income. My books sitting on my website, sitting on Amazon, in my funnels, make me money. When I check my email in the morning, I have money waiting for me. In some cases, more money in a day than I used to make in a year. This is not an income claim. Your results may vary. Seriously, though, that's the great thing about it. I still remember the very first ebook sale I ever made. Very first ebook sale I ever made. I remember where I was. I remember where I was sitting, and I remember some dude sent me money. Somebody I didn't know sent me money through the internet to download a file. I said, holy crap, this is something's going on here. Okay. You can repurpose existing content. One of the great ways to fatten up your book is just to take related stuff you've already made, put it in the back. It's called an appendix. I had my appendix removed. You want to add your appendix back in. You can attract media opportunities. I've got tons, can't tell you how many people I know that have used their book to get on local TV, to get on podcasts, to get coverage. I will also tell you that writing a book is going to give you moments of personal growth that you never realized you could, because by creating something and pouring your soul into it, you're going to discover thoughts and make distinctions and have all kinds of ideas that you never would have otherwise. Immortalizing your ideas. I really honestly believe that this book, somebody, like 100 years from now, somebody will find this book in some dusty bin and read it and go, dang, that dude, he shared some pretty cool thoughts. And just that makes me feel good that maybe for a little while longer after I go, that this would absolutely help me to live on a little bit. Networking and collaboration. All right. This has led to a whole lot of people paying attention to me. Stu and I actually wrote a book together. Buddy Stu Smith and I wrote a book together, DIY Media Marketing. Actually, a really damn good book, and we don't promote it enough. That's probably that might be one of the downfalls of being able to create books so fast, is that you got to pick and choose which ones you promote. And then I finally would tell you that for some people, writing a book is the fulfillment of a lifelong dream. Just I always wanted to write a book. Well, here's your chance. Here's your chance to make your mama proud. Here's a chance to make your family proud. Here's a chance to make yourself proud. So that's why you want to be an author. That's why you want to do this. There's a whole bunch of great reasons, and I can't think of a single bad reason to become an author. So what I'd invite you to do, writeyurbook.ai is going to be your fastest way to do that, to write a legit book, a real book, a great book, a book you can be proud of, a book you can take ownership of, a book that you can use to build your business. Writeyurbook.ai, it's your ticket. We've got special pricing going on right now. You definitely want to be a part of this. Well, Stu, we're just knocking these out, brother.
No, that's a great way to describe why you want to be an author, because every one of them are true.
Absolutely.
And once you write the book and you write other books, you realize, like, you now have a business.
Oh yeah.
You're actually in the business of doing this.
It's as legit as you want to make it.
Yeah.
That's really the key. It is as legit as you want to make it. If you want to treat it like a serious business tool, it is a serious business tool. If you want to treat it like then it's just going to be like it's not going to be all that exciting. Okay. So just saying.
What you got coming next?
Oh, we're going to make a 60-second video, Stu. We're going to make a 60-second video about what makes what are the key features of Write Your Book that make it different. I'm going to see if we can explain this in 60 seconds.
All right.
So, but I got to get my little setup, and then I'm going to have to I'm going to do something here. Just so I got my stuffage. Just give me one quick sec. I'm getting my little notes thing ready. Okay. So let me get this done. Okay. So I got this. And you're like, what's he doing? So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to do a 60-second short that will explain why or what makes writeyourbook.ai different. So that was going to be Stu's question, but I'm going to take these off, but I'm using my little gimbal thingy here. I got my little notes up here. And so that's what we're going to do.
All right.
So Stu asked me the question. It was like, Jim, we can't see you. Okay, well, now you can see me.
That's all right.
Okay.
That's why I think it's cool to see how you make these things.
Okay.
And so let's do it. You ready?
Yep.
Jim, what are the key features of Write Your Own Book that make it different?
Okay. So what are the key features of writeyourbook.ai that make it different from anything else that you could do? And I'm going to break it down into just a few areas really fast. Number one, it's my experience. I've been doing this for over a quarter of a century, helping people, teaching people, facilitating people, writing and publishing their books. Number two, my frameworks. I know exactly what it takes to make a real book and create it using building blocks. Number three, it's the coaching. It's not just my coaching, but I have full-time coaches that are in the entire process over the 2 weeks of writeyourbook.ai, holding your hand, telling you exactly what to do and how to do it. Next is the step-by-step approach. We lay this out in step-by-step detail over day by day by day. You will not get lost. You will know exactly what to do. We have proven methods. Hundreds of people have done this just like you. And last, AI does all the heavy lifting. That's why writeyourbook.ai is an amazing opportunity for you to finally get your book done. All right, so that was 1 minute and 5 seconds. So I think that we'll be able to work with that. Now, honestly, be honest, how did that sound? Did that sound pretty good? Should I reshoot it? Or should I do it again?
It was good. I think it could be better.
Okay, so let's do it again.
And why would you do it again instead of re-editing all this?
Because it's a 60-second video, Stu, and if I can redo the video in 60 seconds, it would take me longer than that to fire up the damn editor and do the thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
I just want to throw a little softball to you.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this again. And I hope y'all appreciate what we're doing here. Like, this is not the crap that people are like, oh, blah, 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 everything's perfect, blah, blah. This is like really doing it. I don't know anybody else is like really showing you how this stuff works, but it could just be me. All right, here we go. If you want to write a book, here's why writeyourbook.ai is absolutely the best possible option for you. Number one, my experience. I've been helping people do this for over a quarter of a century. There's nobody on planet Earth who can help an entrepreneur like you write a book any faster. Number two, my frameworks. I know exactly how to create books using building blocks to be able to create them and make them great and make them fast. Number three is the coaching, not just from me, but I have full-time coaches in our community that will help guide you through this step by step. Number four, it's the step-by-step approach. We lay it out day by day, exactly what to do, how to do it, paint by numbers, onesie, twosie, Peter Rabbit. Number five, the proven methods. This works. Hundreds of people have gone through this exact process. They can do it, you can do it. And last, AI does all the heavy lifting. Show up, do what I tell you, your book's going to get done, and it's going to be good. Was that better?
Yeah, much better. And I got 101 on that one.
Yeah, so Nancy can mess around with that. Okay, so that's done. That's pretty good. And I can just text that to her. I just need to Okay, so we did the 60-second on the iPhone. Done. Here's my this is my creation sheet. Okay, cool. Let's get this out of the way. What do you want to talk about next, Stu?
Well, that was fun. Let's talk about statistics and your success rate with people in Write Your Book AI. But not only that, I don't know if you know these or not. People ask me this too. Like, but how many books have you helped people write? Not just in this Write Your Book AI, but think about it for years.
It's got to be thousands.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be thousands of people over the years with all the different programs we've done, from 7-day ebook to 28-day book. I mean, just all the different stuff that we've done. It's got to be. I can't even tell you. But one of the big reasons why I'm so excited about the WriteYourBook.ai is that when you combine the step-by-step process, you combine the AI, you combine the coaching, you combine the building block approach, you take all those frameworks. What's got me so excited is the completion rate. It's the crazy completion rate that we're having with people that show up and they're getting their books done and they're getting them done on time. What I'd like to show you is a directory of just some of the books that people have created going through our process. And so all of these people, their books are not just done, but they're for sale on Amazon. And many of them have made their books bestsellers. And so I'm not promising you that your book will be a bestseller as part of Write Your Book, but I will tell you that WriteYourBook.ai is going to give you the best shot at getting a book done in a couple of weeks and having it be a real book. And so these are just a handful of the people that have done this. Actually, we have more that we need to add. Nancy's been so busy, she hasn't been able to add them to the directory. And, the cool thing is that we have that directory to maybe help get you a little extra juice in order to do that. But you've got so many different topics in there. Everybody's writing using this. Here's what makes it so cool. Everybody's using the same process to create completely different books, to create books that are aimed at their target audience, that solve a problem for their target audience. Exact same process, completely different books, completely different topics, completely different audiences. That's probably the thing that I am the most proud of, is the fact that our process doesn't turn out cookie cutter books. It turns out real books that people can take ownership of and be a real author of. That's what makes it so amazing.
Yeah, that is absolutely amazing. Some of the things I like to see, especially when you fix your avatar, because obviously the avatar is the key to making that happen, right?
Oh yeah.
So who you're writing for and what you're offering. I mean, that just creates just a huge tree of branches that this system can go down to help finish the product, and it's never the same thing. That's what I love about it, for sure.
And the cool thing is, once you've written one book, it's kind of like Cheetos or Lay's potato chips. You can't just do one, because when you're doing this one, you're going to start thinking about the next one, and that'll automatically help you start creating a value ladder, which is really cool too.
Yeah, good point. All right, so are you ready for the next question?
Absolutely.
All right, what are some beliefs or ideas that hold people back from being an author?
Okay, so any type of belief that's going to hold you back from doing something, and specifically any beliefs that are going to hold you back from becoming an author, are going to come down to 4 main areas. Let me zoom in on this, zoom in on myself real quick. But we're going to come down to 4 main areas. then we're going to have subsets of each one. But it basically comes down to knowledge, knowing how to do something. I don't know how to write a book. Skill. Okay. I'm not a writer. I don't have the skills necessary to write a book. Resources. I don't know how to get a publisher. I don't know how to self-publish. I don't have a whole bunch of money to self-publish, whatever the resources. And then finally is support. What if I get stuck? What if I make a mistake? I don't have anybody to help me. If you think about it, this really applies to anything in life. Okay, anything you're not currently doing, knowledge, skill, resources, support. But specifically with authors, the things that they are concerned with come down to some specific things that we could talk about real quick that people are particularly worried about. Okay, so the first thing is just fear of not having the knowledge or expertise on a particular genre or topic. And that's one of the reasons why one of the types of books that we've taught and we'll teach again, not in this next iteration, but we teach like mistakes books or questions books, or the next one's going to be, I'll let the cat out of the bag, it's going to be a roadmap book. It's how to get from A to Z and teaching people how to get a step-by-step result. That's what this next book's going to be about, which is super valuable to be able to have a book that shows people step-by-step how to get a result. But here's the thing you need to understand. You just have to know more than the person that's reading your book. Nobody's worried about you being, Ernest Hemingway or Nora Roberts or being a Nobel Prize winner. You just have to know more than the person that's reading the book. The other thing you're worried about is they don't have the right writing skills or the creativity. AI takes care of that. You actually don't need to be a writer. You just need to be able to read a book and know if it's any good or not. That's the beauty of this. The AI will write the book for you, and then all you have to do is just read through and say, okay, well, I need to fix that. And you basically are just going to curate the content. Another thing that holds people back is I don't have enough time. Well, I can tell you that there is no faster way of doing a book like this than with writeyurbook.ai and using the AI tools. So if you can allot an hour to an hour and a half a day on average over a couple of weeks, you can have a book done and published on Amazon. Some days it'll be a little less, some days it'll be a little bit more. You're going to have to give up a Saturday, but I want you to think about this. Would you give up an hour to an hour and a half of TV a day, give up 6-7 hours on a Saturday for eternal glory? Okay, if the answer is not yes, then this is probably not for you at all. Another thing that holds people back is not feeling supported, or maybe even feeling discouraged by friends or family or peers saying, who are you? Ain't gonna write a book. I've heard this before. One of the things that we really foster within the program is a feeling of community. We build in each class, we build an amazing community really, really fast with myself and the coaches at the center of it. And then people just helping people to get this done. And people are forming partnerships and friendships and other stuff out of this. It's really amazing. Another thing people worry about is, can I stand out? Is my book going to be good enough to stand out? And maybe this one, these two of these go together. Can it stand out? And are people going to criticize the book? Well, let me tell you, on the internet, people criticize all kinds of stuff. So what? You're like a duck. Water rolls off your back. Absolutely, you're going to be able to create a book that will stand out in a competitive industry. Why? Because it's your book, because it's got your soul in it. And you're going to learn exactly how to make it stand out. And then if you're worried about people criticizing you, we're going to show you exactly how to edit it, how to make sure it's got good content in it. Okay. Last couple things people worry about, how would they be able to balance, personal and professional stuff and working and writing. If you are going to write a book the traditional way, yeah, you might have to worry about that, because you're talking hours and hours and hours and hours a day. But with this method, again, you're talking 60, 90 minutes, one Saturday. Go to your family and say, hey, look, this is what I'm working on. This is kind of going to be my schedule, but this is how it's going to impact us. And when you explain it that way, they will become your biggest cheerleaders. And finally, the last thing that holds people back from actually writing and publishing a book is just feeling overwhelmed at the thought of publishing and marketing and all that stuff. This is baked right into the program as far as publishing. Part of this, we are going to show you exactly how to publish it. We will walk you through the process of publishing your book and having it up for sale on Amazon. So it's just baked right in. So if you can read, if you can fill out simple forms online, if you can use a mouse and read emails, you can do this process. If you are willing to give up an hour to an hour and a half of TV a day for a couple of weeks, but with TiVo and Netflix, it'll still be there. But at the end of 2 weeks, it'll all still be there and you'll be an author. How cool is that? So if any of those things are holding you back, any of those beliefs, any of those thoughts, hopefully this shows you how you can overcome them with this process. By the way, we've got special pricing going on right now with Write Your Book. WriteYourBook.ai. Never see better pricing on this in your life. If this is something you want to do, if you've always wanted to be an author, this is what you need to do. We'd love to have you join us. Do it today. Okay. Yay.
Nice. Hey, I got another one, Jim, real quick before we
Okay.
go into the last question. Is something I did earlier this year is I got a new software for bookkeeping.
Uh-huh.
And it was a little bit of a growing pain, but I was able to really cinch it down really nicely.
Uh-huh.
In fact, I was just looking at it. I balanced everything out up until November, and I was looking at how much money I spend that goes to Amazon
Uh-huh.
each year. And you'd be surprised. It's up there, right? But guess what?
What?
Guess how much money Amazon is paying me?
Not as much.
More than.
Oh, really?
Yes, more
Oh,
than
holy-
I buy.
Holy crap.
So that's another potential benefit to being an author on Amazon, is you might actually balance out your expenditures by getting royalties.
I think that's amazing. I know that's not the way it is at my house. Cool. Well, we got genie hacking here in about 6.5 minutes. I know we had one last question that we needed to answer for this. I don't know if we have time for it or not, but I think we do. So
Yeah,
let's hit it. Okay.
Yeah. So how is this edition of WriteYourBook.ai going to be different from the previous session?
Okay. So one of the questions people have is, how is this edition of WriteYourBook.ai going to be different than the previous editions that we've done? So the first time we did a mistakes book. Then I can't spell mistakes. Then we did an FAQ book. This next one is going to be step-by-step results. So we've got a whole new suite of genies that are going to help you write a step-by-step how to get a result book. So think of it, we've been calling it the treasure map book. But think about the ability to make somebody a huge promise of, hey, you're going to get this result, and I'm going to show you step by step by step by step how to get that result. If you've gone through the first two with us, this is how you can make your trilogy. This is how, your first book's a mistake book, second book is an FAQ book. Now you got step by step. This is also the one that I believe has the highest potential to do over and over and over and over again, because people don't just want one result, they want multiple results. So being able to go through this process and create that book, and honestly, we've had people with these other classes where they've gone through and created a couple of books during the time that they had access to everything. So the step-by-step, it's a different one, it's new, it's a great addition to this. And then I'm also just going to be really upfront with you. Every time we've done this, we've gotten better and better. The coaches have gotten sharper. I've gotten better. Everything just is more amazing. And so if you've done it with us before, we'd love to have you go through again. You can never have too many books with your name on them out there selling. If you've never gone through it, this is absolutely the opportunity. And here's the thing to understand. When we're doing this, is going to help you kick off the year big time. Because by starting the year, getting your book written, next year is going to be your best year yet. So that's how it's different. New genies, new track, new coaching, new training, all the awesomeness you've come to expect. So absolutely better than ever. And before was amazing. So it's better than amazing. Would love to have you join us. All right. That's what makes it different. We got to go, bro.
Yeah.
Because we got a training here in a couple minutes. So appreciate y'all joining us. Hope this was helpful for you. And we're excited to have you on this journey with us. We'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye, everybody.